Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls Easy Mode. Today we'll be going into the game proper, after 3 episodes of fanning about really, and moving into the, I guess, first intended section that you're meant to go to. Because what I've done so far is a lot of exploring areas where I'm not really meant to deal with the enemies yet and just grabbing some items that are easy to get. Just for a nice starting boost. So this early on we have some fairly weak enemies. The best way to deal with them if you're not confident in your abilities is block them so they bounce off your shield and then just attack them back. You can also use these enemies to practice parrying and riposting or backstabbing. The way a backstab works is you move behind the enemy and you do a standard R1 or RB, I guess, since I'm using an Xbox controller. Okay, this guy's just throwing firebombs at me. And a riposte, as I've already explained, you just use a your shield. It's not really a bash, it's, I don't know, swing, shove, I don't know. Something anyway. You use that at the precise moment of... at a fairly precise moment in their attack animation. And then you counterattack and you get a nice little bonus damage. Okay, this jump is not that difficult and it allows you to get a ring. Now this ring, it's a rare ring of sacrifice. No, it's just a ring of sacrifice, not a rare ring of sacrifice. They're still rare in the game, but there's actually an item called rare ring of sacrifice, so it's not that. What this does is, if you equip it and you die, you don't lose your souls. Which can be handy in certain situations. I'll tell you about some of them. Obviously, whenever you have a ton of souls on you and you don't want to lose them, but you're still in a dangerous situation, it's nice to be able to use that. But once it's prevented your souls from being lost, it breaks. So it's kind of a one-time thing, which means you shouldn't use it idly and yeah. Don't use it if all you have is 5,000-6,000 souls. That might seem a lot early game, but I don't know. Say you're after a boss fight and you have, I don't know, 100,000 souls or something on you. Okay, I'll just backstab you. Okay, I missed my riposte, but he missed his jumping attack as well, so it all evens out in the end. Here I'm just showing you how to get all the items in this area. Might or might not be something among these that you want. Now, one thing to note is I'm getting a fair amount of these Soul of a Lost Undead and Large Soul of a Lost Undead. If you use them, you get 200 and 400 souls respectively. Now, I would advise, unless you need those souls for something, don't consume them. You will eventually unlock an NPC where you can sell these souls. And the ones that give you 200 and 400, sell at that NPC for 500. So basically, if you sell them with that NPC, you get more than if you just consume them. It takes a while to unlock that NPC, so if you really need souls now, just consume away. But if you don't desperately need souls at this point, you can just hold on to them and wait until you basically until you can sell them. Now there's an enemy right here. Originally, this enemy is positioned below me on those planks there. But as you fight enemies up here, he becomes alerted to your presence because of the noises. And he'll just kind of wander around to try and find you. I don't know exactly which path he takes. It's kind of a long path, but he tends to end up just about around here when you go the same way I've gone through this section. And these fog gates kind of mark, I don't know, new sections of an area. They're not loading screens, by the way, because once you've gone through them, they go away. So there's not a loading screen, it's just, I don't know, somehow... it marks progression, basically. It tells you that you've progressed through an area. I don't believe you can make that jump to over there. You get there in a different way. I'll show you that in a bit. Probably still this episode. Don't run too far ahead here, by the way, because that dragon can actually damage you if you go too far. Just wait for the animation. Incidentally, this dragon is one of the things that you can avoid if you go past the bit where the where I jumped off, you know, the Black Knight section that I told you to keep at the back of your mind. You can avoid going past this particular, I don't know, encounter, trigger point, whatever you want to call it. So the dragon never does this landing on this bridge and then flying off thing. And that means that later on, in the place where we encounter the dragon, he won't be there, because this bit here needs to trigger before he actually spawns in the next bit. So kind of funny. I will now rush the crossbow dude up there. There's still one more enemy that I could just pull back and deal with first. This dude. But might as well do this. Now, these spear guys are very good enemies to learn riposting on. Because the window for parrying and riposting is very large with these spears. It's just you have a lot of time in their attack animation to parry. They're very, very easy to parry, basically. And they're not that easy to kill without parrying, because they're very defensive. They keep their shields raised all the time. And with a spear you can attack with your shield still raised, so it's just... they're a bit tedious. I'd say riposting is probably the most convenient way of dealing with them. That looked painful. Okay, and here we'll get the first merchant. Well, not the first merchant, but a useful merchant. Repair powder, I don't think you really need much of that, at this point at least. Can be nice when you're using weapons that have low durability, but your starting stuff, most of it has decent durability. Throwing knives, mostly used for aggroing, fire bombs. They have some uses, but they're not super powerful. Lloyd's talismans, again, mostly a PvP thing, because they prevent invaders from using Estus flasks. This will also affect enemies in the game, but there aren't that many, and them using Estus just isn't dangerous. I think I just said it prevents invaders from using Estus. Invaders can never use Estus. It means when you invade someone, you can use it on them, and they can't use Estus. Yeah, I misspoke earlier, sorry. And this soapstone allows you to send messages to other players. I would strongly suggest getting the residence key. Unless you have the master key. I would still suggest getting it, but you can wait until a little later to buy that if you have the master key. But again, I used the master key in the suicide section. I will try to show you how to get all the stuff without the master key from now on, basically. And I'll still get into which stuff you can skip using it, but yeah. You'll see what I mean. He sells a selection of starting weapons. If you aren't happy with your current weapon, just you can farm some souls and try out some others. Nothing super good here. The reinforced club is kind of good. It's a decent starting strength weapon, I guess. It's nothing super powerful though, so yeah. And some shields. He sells arrows and the chain set.
Thank you kindly.
As I said, the most useful item is probably the residence key. And then let's move on. Through here is a wooden shield. The thing about the wooden shield is it doesn't block too much of anything really, except it's quite good against lightning damage. Lightning damage you don't encounter too often in this game, so it's not super useful, but yeah, just something to bear in mind. It's not as useless as it seems, at least if you're dealing with lightning damage it can be handy. And now we can use this bonfire, and as I said, these videos will be a little shorter, so I made it to the next bonfire. I think this is a good place to end this section. I hope you enjoyed the video and found some helpful hints here, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.